When people think of hacking, they imagine a computer nerd breaking into network security systems to gain access to restricted data. But the word is slowly shifting away from this one-sided understanding to a more general view. Thanks to the works of several media theorists, the term hacking has found itself within the cultural discourse describing a phenomenon that has emerged from the urge of overcoming limitations within a system one doesn't own.
What if those who produce information are not workers? I call them hackers, and it's a word that maybe didn't date that well, so call it what you like. But let's think of different ways of describing what it means to be someone who produces information but doesn't own or control it.
Mackenzie considers them an emerging subversive force, antagonists to the powerful ruling class. And it doesn't stop short of the architectural profession. It could possibly even be the fuel that is powering its inner workings, especially when seeing architecture as something that happens within restrictions, be it resources, laws, or interests. Everyone who tries to go beyond the predetermined becomes an architectural hacker. Looking at the Spanish architect Santiago Cerujeta, it is easy to see exactly what it means. You could consider his practice similar to squatters occupying their space in abandoned houses, finding their place caught in a spider web of tight regulations within the gray area of the law. Yet, unlike your regular squatter, he is highly aware of the inner workings of bureaucracy, which makes it seem as if he has grown spider legs of his own.
El derecho de ser ilegal significa un poco el derecho de replantear lo que ocurre. Y estamos investigando en nuevas tipologías de colegios, de autoconstrucción, de varias cosas que la ley no contempla.
With one of his first projects, he figured out a way to bypass Spain's strict building restrictions. He applied for the construction of a scaffolding to remove a graffiti he had painted himself the night before. With this permit, he set up an inhabitable shelter taking the shape of a scaffolding. Most importantly, though, he has documented his process and uploaded a step-by-step tutorial on his website for other people to follow his lead. Crowned by the term guerrilla architect, he is not just trying to hack his way through the jungle of restrictions, but he is enriching his community and the people around him. Santiago is sharing his hacks for free, making him the prime example of the free hacker in Mackenzie's sense. She is arguing that in the informational age, a hack always carries the tension of its commodification. The hackers have to decide how much autonomy they want to maintain or how much money they want to charge for it.
La verdad es que después de 17 años trabajando, yo como propietario no tengo nada. O sea, tengo una casa alquilada, un antiguo prostíbulo, una furgoneta de segunda mano. Todo lo que se ha ingresado en los proyectos se ha reinvertido en contratos, en pagar a la gente. Mi experiencia con proyectos de este tipo lleva 16 años y ya he fracasado, me han denunciado, he estado triste y deprimido.
Pero eso está caliente, o sea que mejor tomarlo primero.
Claro, tiene más riesgos personales. Alice está cansada. Quizá vaya más riesgo personal que para mí.
¿Mañana? ¿Podéis mañana?
Con lo fácil que sería quizás hacer un trabajo normal, ¿no? Tú haces un servicio, te pagan, ¿no? Pero tampoco te llenaría la vida, ¿no? Ni tu vida personal ni política. Steps all we rain.
Arno Brandl-Huber could be considered Cerujeta's antithesis. While Santiago is rather anti-establishment, Arno Brandl-Huber is part of it. He is not working against the limiting forces, but rather trying to redirect the flows of the forces themselves so they serve his intentions. When his office was invited to build a multi-use hall in Copenhagen, they found out that if not for the law restricting the temperature of sports halls to a minimum of 24 degrees, they would be able to build the hall twice as big, staying within budget. Instead of obeying the regulations and reducing the volume of the building, they decided to put their focus into negotiating with the lawmakers to lower the minimum temperature, which in their eyes was plenty enough for a hall that is only used for sports activities. They eventually succeeded, planned the hall with a minimum of 16 degrees temperature, and even managed to redefine the standard all over Denmark. With that, Arnaud's practice moved towards a new goal.
Wenn ich jetzt die Möglichkeit hätte, Gesetze zu machen.
A cautious yet playful bending of the margins. Conveniently, his diplomatic hacks have earned him a very stable position both economically as well as reputation-wise. Does that make him a non-free hacker? This argument can be made since Brandl is somehow commodifying his hacking, using it as a leverage to improve his firm's reputation. Arnaud has chosen a quite different path than Sir Rugetta, straying away from the cliché of the poor open-source hacker. Their comparison makes it visible that architectural hacking has to hold a stance regarding the economic question. Both Sir Rugetta and Brandl figured out a way to deal with this issue, keeping their hacks and therefore their innovation accessible and open for development. They could both be considered members of the emerging hackers class that Mackenzie envisions, and their work could serve as a base for future architectural hacking.